Hi guys, welcome back to my run on King Arthur's Knight's Tale. We'll just continue. We're just at the very beginning of it here. Did the introductory mission and everything, so. Kind of like this guy's jewel and the crown and everything he's wearing. It's cool. Looks pretty cool. Been through a few beatings.
Americans of every belief and background, they don't want more chaos and craziness. In the America I know, we respect freedom, the rule of law. We refuse to use the awesome power of big government to punish those we dislike. And we recognize that America has done more good for more people than any country in the world.
Okay.
They have a right to have their voices
The
heard,
nearby
and they
Kingstone
deserve
is
a real
plundered
choice.
by a
I'm Nikki
marauder
Haley, and
knight.
I approve this message.
Kingstone.
A lot of people ask me,
What a
Kevin, what are
regal
you doing
name for a
today?
mud hole.
Well, I have a new farm I'm
Anyway,
working.
the village belongs to the throne, and I must teach these brigands a harsh lesson about boundaries. Also, I will need plenty of masons, woodcutters, and laborers to restore Camelot to its former glory.
You want to make a huge change in your life? Try balance of nature. Get 35% off and $10 off any additional sets as a preferred customer by using discount code BOO.
Breathing clairs and clear is like...
Confidently walking a dog for a dog's and living as if he doesn't have allergies? Yeah.
Fast relief of your worst allergy symptoms, like nasal congestion.
The right age for Neutrogena retinol? That's whatever you want it to be. It has germ-proven retinol that targets vital cell turnover, even
I
skin
think we are
tone,
too late.
and smooths fine
I don't
lines.
see any signs.
Visible results in just 1 week. Neutrogena retinol.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, a landscaper. Because you didn't settle for ordinary. Same goes for your equipment.
What do we have here?
Versatile, powerful, durable Kubota equipment. More goes into it, so you get more out of it.
Well, if it isn't good so bad.
As voters concerned to
Come on, friends. Let's play.
Losing, you still owe a balance on this.
Yeah, right.
2 weeks.
Yes, the righteous fool trying to save the world on his own.
I had a question I believe coaches never get. Director George Clooney. 9 seconds under the course of entry. Olympic year this year. Olympic year? I didn't realize. Some quiz and boats. I got. Lay it down, coach. History. Show them I already know. It's in the boat. G13.
Two down.
By the old gods, Sir Mordred. You was a true then. You have returned.
There is a way out. For more information,
I'm only following my knightly oath by protecting the innocent.
There's a lot of
The nearby village is plagued by these brigands, and I must stop them.
approvals identify children with breathing, positive story program.
So you would probably take King Arthur's place at Camelot, recruiting knights. You should find my brother. He would be a great fit to your dark court.
Thank you for your support of each way. It allows our therapy dog program to visit seniors and youth in need.
You are not the only one looking for him. Something terrible happens to
has been
Avalon,
kicked off another
and people need
state's ballot.
guidance.
This time it's in Illinois. And the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed, meanwhile, to rule on whether Trump has immunity in Jack Smith's election
The
interference
ship
case.
that brought him to
An election
Avalon
year
reached
dispute
shore beyond the
that will
Bridge of
have
Sorrows.
blockbuster legal and
I would
political
start looking for
implications
him
for the
there, in
entire
the
nation.
Whispering Cove.
Shannon Green is
That's
live
what my
for us
father
in
told me and my
Washington.
brother.
Shannon.
Anyway,
So Harris, you know the Supreme Court does
Our
not
goals are the
enjoy
same.
being in the middle of election
I'll
year
accompany
political
you.
issues, but it's now juggling several cases that could have a big impact on the search
Finally,
campaign.
you
So I want to break
committed a
down a couple
murder
for
that you should not
In addition to
regret.
that Illinois judge who
He became a
excluded the former
disgrace to
president from the
everything he
primary
fought
ballot,
for in his
on
life.
Super Tuesday, you've got
Death
two
was
other states that
salvation
made
for
the
him.
same decision, but it's
That
all on hold
selfish,
pending a
wild
decision from
zealot
these justices.
is
The
busy
Supreme Court
defending
about
our
whether
heirloom at the
Colorado
Bridge
had
of
the right
Sorrow.
to do what it did. The
It
justices
should have
heard
been
those
more,
arguments back on
but
the
he
8th.
ignored
That
our
decision
father's
could
will.
come at any time. Both
Curse
Colorado
upon
and
Baron.
Maine do
Anyway,
have the former
my late
president's name
father
on their
believed in
primary
Arthur's
ballots
creed
and
that
say
a knight is
whether those
defined
votes
by
will
the deeds,
actually get counted
not
or
by the
not
land.
is all up to that decision. We are awaiting from the justices. Could come at any time. Well, in many respects, the legal team for Trump could also argue that they got a win from the Supreme Court yesterday simply by virtue of the justices deciding to take up the case about whether he has some sort of immunity in the Jack Smith January 6th case against him.
Animals.
This is the
Half
exact
of the village
question.
is killed
Got a lot of
and
lawyers there on
maimed,
the
the
couch,
other
but
half hiding in
this
the
is what
woods.
they've agreed to
We
hear
must
in
stop this.
April. Whether, and if so, to what extent, does a former president enjoy presidential immunity from criminal prosecution for conduct alleged to involve official acts during his tenure in office? Yesterday's order from the court does not tell us how each of the justices voted, but they made clear the court is not, quote, expressing a view on the merits yet. Decision due by late June. Only then would the trial court lift the pause on proceedings, which could then take weeks or months to actually get this thing to trial, meaning it could end up in summer, early fall, even later, Harris.
Wow. All right. So you've given me some homework assignments with our legal
Gather
eagles
all you
here on
can.
the couch. Appreciate
The
it.
dead
Always,
won't
Janet.
need
Good to see
anything,
you. All right.
will they?
So let's just unpack that a little bit.
These
First of all,
brigands are not
what
even worthy
happens
to stand
in
trial.
those states like Illinois
We
and others?
shall
You
kill
can pop
them
up the
all,
map. There are others
still
who would
in
love
good
to
old
join the
Avalon.
party, but either
Protector
they've
of the
been
weak.
dismissed in those states,
Spare
and those
me
will be
the
in blue,
cynicism.
or they were
You're here
dismissed
for the same
on
reason as I
appeal.
am.
The
To
rest
save
of
these
states
people.
might be interested
Yes,
in trying to take
I
him
need
off the
them to
ballot,
work
like
the
Maine and
field,
Colorado. So
see?
what happened?
You are
The
a
Supreme Court
disgrace
is
to
going to
everything
have
the
to
Round Table
weigh
stood
here
for.
and
Maybe
hear
this
an
land
argument
needs my
on the
round
states
table
so
to
far.
survive.
What we saw is that this isn't just a 6-3 divide in the Supreme Court. This could be a 7-2 decision, an 8-1, or maybe even a 9-0 decision. There seems to be bigger support than just that 6-3 breakdown to prevent this.
Your orders?
I don't want to hear anything from the left about
Awaiting your
attacks on
command.
democracy when you see an attack like this. There is no greater threat against democracy than Joe Biden and Democrats saying that Americans
Rock and roll.
have the right to choose their own president in November. This is the greatest threat to democracy that is imaginable.
But it's also like a really big deal about election interference. Why doesn't anybody ever call it that? I call it that.
That's right. That's perfect segue. You must be reading my mind. I spoke to someone the other day, a loyal Fox watcher, and somebody said, "Look, my biggest concern is the fact that no one seems to ever assuage our concerns about election integrity and about election interference. Why is it that these questions we have don't even seem not only to not be answered, but even to be addressed in the public sector?" And that, to me, perfectly illustrates one of the legal arguments, which is the patchwork effect. How can you take away from the people the power to have a candidate for a national election on every single one of the ballots when it so clearly is only here in a consideration in some of the states? It's a fascinating question, but I think that the largest continued slap in the face by the left is the knee-jerk quote behind Donald Trump's name, which is the threat to democracy, when the greatest threat is if this occurs.
Interesting. This is clearly election interference. It's proven to be election interference. We see all the tiers on the other side played out over the course of the last 24, 48 hours.
I'm here to serve.
Yes.
All right, let's pop up that map one more time. I want you to notice the gold. Those are the states that are pending with this. I mean, you talk about a patchwork. We're going to go into an election season depending on how this shakes out, because some of these places, like Maine and Colorado, will be taking his name off the ballot before the U.S. Supreme Court will weigh in. And if they weigh against Trump and those votes don't count, that means their neighbors in the state next door, their votes didn't matter because it was wiped away before they could vote. They might vote for somebody else. I mean, do you think it gives maybe some advantages to one side or the other?
Awaiting your command.
I'm not a lawyer, but I did get a master's in business, marketing and leadership. And what I know is that you let the market decide. You let the people, the consumers, the voters decide. We have one judge in Illinois who made this happen. We have one election official in Maine
Sir
who made
Mordred.
this happen. We have a
You
Supreme
really
Court
don't
in
have to
Colorado
thank me.
on a split decision who made this
I'm
happen.
Lady Dindrain,
These aren't
the
voters.
Lord's chosen,
This
seeker
taking
of the
someone's
Holy
name off
Grail.
a ballot, deleting a choice. Whether you like Trump or not, you better love America enough to want to defend democracy, as they keep
Aren't
saying,
you
by
helpful?
allowing the people
I wish I had
to
thought of that
choose
earlier.
what happens in November. Not these
No,
little
I'm
handful
looking
of
for redemption in this
bureaucrats or
hellhole.
judges.
Right.
And
it brings to the point, you wonder why people distrust this process. You're looking at that map and you're saying, well, what, the United States is not united when we go
I'm
vote?
hunting down their
Real
leader,
quick question for
the
you.
Marauder Knight
When
hiding
do
in
we
a
reach
ruined
the
tower.
point where we're too close to the election? Like, is that being
The
talked
good
about
Lord sent you
in
then.
the White House? The
I'm always
calculus
glad
being,
to
well,
have
if
some
we could
walking
just
shields around
speed
me.
this up a little
Let's
bit.
go.
It's being talked about openly. I heard an anchor on another network say
Do I
every
know
day
him?
as we go towards the election.
Yes, you can
counts.
say so.
Okay,
Percival is my brother,
Like speeding up
a bright
process
light in the
against civil
encroaching
war and
darkness,
election
fighting his
interference. So,
battles
yeah,
where I
people are
can't reach
openly
him.
saying that. You have Jamie Raskin talking about the Supreme Court
Galahad
that
is,
we should be engaged
well,
and aroused because of the Supreme
trust me
Court.
when I
What does
say
that
that
mean?
he's
Pelosi, the
truly
Supreme Court is
lost.
placing itself on trial.
No,
Really,
I'm
Nancy
alone in
Pelosi?
my
We can
holy
assert
quest.
faith in
It
institutions.
is my
Yeah, use
trial
those
by
words.
fire.
Go check it out. But if I could just for one moment focus on Illinois and the decision they made. Going through the legal opinion, one of my former colleagues, Chad Gilmartin, pointed this out on page 38. Check out this language. The Illinois State Board of Elections shall remove Donald J. Trump from the ballot for the general primary election on March 19, 2024, or cause any vote cast for him to be suppressed. Word of advice for those wanting to engage in election interference
Hallowed
and
ground.
voter suppression. Pick up a thesaurus. Look up suppress. Don't actively admit your court filing on page 38. You want to suppress the vote. Well done, guys.
And again, Emily, real quickly on our way out here, how do you explain to those Americans who get up early on that day, primary in their state, and they vote, and then they find out if it doesn't work out in the U.S. Supreme Court, that that
In the old
vote doesn't
days,
count?
you raised the
I feel you can't
towers of
explain
mad
it, and it's
wizards
totally
and crushed the
indefensible.
champions of the
It's
shade.
unacceptable utterly. It's
And
antithetical to
now
our
you
Constitution and everything we stand for. And the hardest part is not whether or not it's
How
wrong. It's why the left and the
profoundly
Democrat
annoying
Party
it should be
thinks it's okay or thinks that they can gaslight us to accept it when it is so clearly
a brief
anything but.
respite for a prayer.
All right, we'll move on. Coming up, President Biden's doctor says he is fit for duty, but that may not assuage the worries and the fears that some are expressing in the polls. And we picked one where he's scratching his head. That's indiscriminate. I mean, like, when did this happen?
This is where the Lord of the Vermin is hiding. Let's cleanse this hovel once and for all.
Available to us. Just answer questions here. Previous presidents have put their doctors up at that lectern. Why not? Jorge has always put the ones he loves first. But when it comes to caring for his teeth, let his own needs take a back seat. Well, maybe it's time to shift gears on that. Because Aspen Dental has the latest technology and equipment with a staff that goes out of their way to provide exceptional care, plus free exams and x-rays for patients without insurance and 20% off treatment plans. Making it easier to get started with quality care. It's one more way. Aspen
Get ready.
is in your corner.
With thyroid eye disease, I hid from the camera, and I wanted to hide from the world. For years,
Ready
I
to
thought
fight.
my TED was beyond help. But then, I asked my doctor about
The Lord is
Tepezza.
my witness.
Tepezza is the only medicine that treats TED at the source, not just the symptoms.
Your
In a
orders?
clinical study, more than 8 out of 10 patients taking Tepezza had less eye bulging. Tepezza is an infusion and may cause infusion reactions. Tell your doctor right away if you experience high blood pressure, fast heartbeat, shortness of breath, or muscle pain. Treatment proven. Tell your doctor if you have diabetes, IBD, or are pregnant or planning to become pregnant. Tepezza may raise blood sugar and may worsen IBD. Tepezza may cause severe hearing problems, which may be permanent. Now, I'm ready to be seen again. Visit mytepezza.com to find a TED eye specialist and to see Bridget's before and after photos. On Medicare, have diabetes? With the Freestyle Libre 3 system, you'll know your glucose and where it's headed. No finger sticks needed. Now covered by Medicare for more people managing diabetes with insulin. Visit
Blessings.
freestylelibre.us/Medicare.
Don't say space pod.
Meanwhile, at a Virgo,
I
when
am
other
ready.
vacation rentals are just for likes, try one you'll actually like.
I won't let my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis symptoms define me.
Emerge as you. With Tremfya, most people saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months, and the majority stayed clearer at 5 years.
Serious allergic reaction to Tremfya. It affects risk infections and other fine. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Emerge as you. Emerge Tremfya. Ask your doctor about Tremfya.
Got the cat 3 days with a sneeze. What? A 12-hour short.
Have a fun weekend.
Is that necessary? No. Neither is a long weekend. Take off and play from your own hair. So you can fix problems, they become problems. Get Baycom and make the unnecessary.
For the Lord Almighty.
See you down the line. CIDP disrupts.
CIDP derails.
Let's be honest.
CIDP sucks.
But living with CIDP,
Doesn't have to.
when you sign up at shiningthroughcidp.com, you'll find inspiration and real patient stories, helpful tips, reliable information, and more.
CIDP can be tough.
But finding hope,
Just got a little easier.
Here is mine.
Sign up at shiningthroughcidp.com.
be heard,
Your
be
command?
hopeful, be you.
Right now, you get a free footlong at Subway. Just buy any footlong in the app, you get one free. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code.
No
FL
mercy for the
Fogo.
wicked.
It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
You still got a landline here.
Order now on the Subway app.
President Biden is still cracking jokes about his age,
For the Lord
despite
Almighty.
mounting concerns from voters and his fellow Democrats. Here's what Biden had to say following his annual physical.
I am ready.
You got
Avalon coming around now.
We're quick to point out that Biden's visit didn't include a cognitive test. Just listen to the White House's response. The president doesn't need a cognitive
orders?
test. That is not my assessment. That is not my assessment. That is the assessment of the president's doctor, the president, who is also the commander-in-chief.
I serve the Lord.
Passes a cognitive test every day. Every day. As he moves from one topic to another topic. And this is a very rigorous job. And the president has been able to do this job every day for the past 3 years. And let's not forget, he is also leading the historic presidency, which is also important to note in everything that we've been able to do. He's been able to get done over the past 3 years. He passes a cognitive test every day. He might be presented with a cognitive test every day, but passing it remains to be seen, I think. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy would also disagree.
He still has his behind those, but the teleprompter are cards. I found when I met with him, it would just be a couple. He would read from the card. Just the two of you, he's reading cards. It is like flows, yeah. And if you deviate, like I didn't sit and negotiate here with him, the debt ceiling. It's not yours. He just sticks to the cards. And if you go away, if you deviate from the cards, he can't continue onward there.
It seems I was wrong about you, Mordred.
The reason why he's not getting a cognitive
I
test
shall
is
give you an
concern
advice,
over
then.
what the results are going to show.
Camelot
And the
is in
spin
danger.
is becoming more
Not
and
from
more
these marauders, but the
hyperbolic
creatures
and
of
doesn't
darkness
have
beyond the
tests
bridge of
for the
sorrow.
rest of America, 'cause we're watching this so-called cognitive test every day because it's in front of us and it's on the camera.
My
I think
brother
they're concerned
Balin
about
is standing
what would
guard in the
happen
bridge fort,
if
holding
you
back the
actually had a
tides of
test and the
midnight.
doctor was able to take the podium and answer these questions.
There has been
the
bad
last
blood
press corps, I don't
between us.
think they want
He is
the public
cruel
to-
and
to see
arrogant,
that.
a
And
savage in
the
battle.
idea that somehow we're
But
witnessing
even
this, a
Balin will
case of,
fall if you don't help him
Benjamin
out.
Button, where, he's only getting
I have fulfilled my oath.
stronger and younger.
If you decide to march to the
Again,
bridge
Americans
now,
are watching and saying,
I will
clearly
meet you
there's an
there.
issue. Be honest with us. What's going on?
And Kaylee, you could argue that, in fact, a structured combat test was administered in the form of depositions where the president couldn't remember when he was vice president. He couldn't remember when his son died. There's a lot of deficiencies in black and white there. That's a fantastic point. I mean, that was the only real cognitive test we got.
I am humbled by the Lord's gift.
Detail for us all three. I mean, it's laughable for the press secretary to say he passes the cognitive test every day. No, he fails the cognitive test every day. And I don't say that with any glee. I want a president, I want a commander-in-chief who is with it when he sits across from Xi and Putin and others. But he's not. And the assessment of the American people, 70% say he is too old. He fails the cognitive test every day. And the way the White House handled this physical so poorly, you don't do a surprise physical. You have it as a planned part of his schedule many months out. Nothing to see here. Not a big deal. He's doing his annual physical, but instead they pop it up as a surprise. Maybe it was to detract from Hunter and distract from all that mess, but not good PR. You know what also to me is insulting at a minimum is when Karine Jean-Pierre says, and he's leading an historic presidency as if by virtue of him inhabiting his own skin while everyone campaigns around him is something to be said for his cognition. It isn't. It's sort of immutable that he's just doing it. And for her to think that we'll accept that as reasoning for his...
That's interesting, too. A couple of things. I thought about this yesterday. Why on that day would he have an unannounced? And by the way, the reporters were there on the lawn, and the helicopter just appears. I mean, they're here to pick up the president. Where's he going? Anybody know? Y'all find out. Then he turns around inaudibly, so it took every microphone there and some writing on the screen to say that I'm going to get my physical today, because you couldn't really hear him. The helicopter was going. Why? Well, Hunter Biden, yes. But Michigan was bad. That Michigan primary said a lot about his policies, foreign policies, and how and what kind of gentle balance and finesse he's lacking. All of that, all the things that she says that he passes cognitively every day, he is failing at. Those nuances and ways to sell things to people that might vote uncommitted instead of for your name. That Donald Trump might get more votes than you do from Republicans than you do from Democrats, those sorts of things. And so he is failing, but my big question is, why doesn't he see this in himself? You know, we're always told, and you know, whatever it is, if it's a lump someplace, wherever it is, we're told to check ourselves. If you feel like your memory is going, you want to go get that checked out, especially if you're over 65. And doctors will tell you that. So I wonder why he doesn't say, look, I think I might be in trouble. Is it ego and narcissism?
It is. I think it's both of those things, ego and narcissism. This man has had one goal his whole life, and that is to be president of the United States. Not for any particular ideology. Maybe there's ideology there, but he told people from a very young age, I'm going to be president of the United States. His son told him to run. All of these things, that's all he's ever wanted to be. Now he's finally there, and he's past his peak. And by the way, he is leading an historic presidency. It's historically bad. It's historically awful. And so, but to have KJP out there saying over and over again how robust, how healthy, how smart, how sharp this man is, methinks that does protest a little too much. I mean, you are really trying to sell it. We've got eyes. And just because you have that podium doesn't mean you get to tell us stuff that we can see for ourselves ain't the truth.
Let's get a little bit more of her comments. We'll show you a short video what she had to say when a reporter asked her why Biden's doctor is not available to speak to the press. For an administration that promised transparency.
Is the president or drugs not willing to make Dr. O'Connor available to us? Just answer questions here. Previous presidents have put their doctors up at that lectern. Why not?
There is not a precedent for bringing the doctor to the podium and or to the briefing room. Like, I understand it has happened a few times over the last 35 years, a couple of times, but it is actually not the precedent. And so what Dr. O'Connor has done is he has put forward over the last 2 years a comprehensive, robust memo.
I might have to cut up there. I was trying to say how this administration promised transparency, and I think it's so laughable, Kaylee. I mean, it's so laughable at that answer. Oh, because we don't do it because there's no precedent. Didn't you promise us some type of groundbreaking, novel, ceiling-shattering administration and presidency? Weren't we supposed to expect that all of the norms were to be shattered by your creative thinking and bucking the norms, and here we're supposed to say, oh, no, the rules really don't usually suggest for it. It is such a farce.
It's very, very simple. Look, if I would have gone former President Trump and said, look, this is all going on about your health, he would have said, send out the White House physician. Let him speak on my behalf. Let me take a cognitive test, which he did, and he passed. It's very simple. If there are questions, there are two things you can do. And they are failing to do either one. Why? Because he's cognitively impaired, and that is a very sad thing to say.
And that's the most basic, by the way, thing of any evaluation. Think about when emergency services comes. I used to be an EMT. The first thing you do, the assessment, alert and orientation, right? You assess the person's mental cognition. Everything else is the added bonus on top. But according to this president, that's not part of it at all. Coming up, we are looking live at Eagle Pass, Texas, on your screen, where former President Trump will visit in the next few hours, challenging President Biden on his border policies. Bill Malugin is reporting live on those dueling visits next.
Sail through the heart of historic cities and unforgettable scenery with Viking. Unpack once and get closer to iconic landmarks, local life, and cultural treasures. Because when you experience Europe on a Viking longship, you'll spend less time getting there and more time being there. Viking, exploring the world in comfort.
Were you worried the wedding would be too much?
Another destination wedding. We just got back from vacations in Napa. Who gets married in Napa? Michael. Who gets married someplace more expensive? Cancun, Jamaica. Why can't they use my factor?
With Empower, we get all our financial questions answered, so we don't have to work.
Can we get out of here?
I've had you never asked. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future with a real-time dashboard and real-life conversations. Empower. What's next? So, what'd you get?
2 Nashville hot tenders and 3 Mandarin orange tenders.
Nice. What about you?
3 classic tenders.
4 big butterfly shrimp. 4 of a kind. I win.
Oh, okay. Is it always a competition?
I am the shrimp bot.
These bills are crazy.
She has no idea she's sitting on a gold mine. She doesn't know that if she owns a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, she can sell all or part of it to Coventry for cash, even a term policy.
Even a term policy?
Even a term.
Find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. Call Coventry today at 800-496-9200. Or visit
Alright, guys, I'll catch you next time, alright? Peace out.
This making you uncomfortable? Good. When you've got type 2 diabetes like me, you have up to 4 times greater risk of stroke, heart attack, or worse, death.